Okay, moving on. Last time we learned basically the dinim of what's called lush, kneading. So now we'll learn, because the next few days, after today, we're going to learn about the 9 days, Tisha B'Av a little bit. Anyway, the next thing we're going to learn about is, there's a concept which is rabbinic. There's a lot of gzeira, we learned already many times, there's a lot of decrees that Chachamim made. Some of it is because you might come to do a biblical thing. Sometimes it's because people will make a mistake and they'll think that if you do this, you could do this. Sometimes the Chachamim made decrees because it's just not in the spirit of Shabbos. It's just, as they say in Yiddish, it's not Shabbosdik. It's not in the spirit of Shabbos. So for instance, one of the things that Chachamim said you're not allowed to do on Shabbos is prepare on Shabbos for after Shabbos. Why are you not allowed to prepare on Shabbos for after Shabbos? Because preparing means you're doing work. And the work that you're doing is not needed for Shabbos. So you're doing extra work on Shabbos, not even for Shabbos, so it's not in the spirit of Shabbos to do things like that. And there's a lot of din in B'chlal that you're not allowed to do as preparation on Shabbos for after Shabbos, unless if they're also needed or could be used on Shabbos. To give you an example, we learned this din already. You're allowed to sleep. Let's say you need to be up Saturday night. You're taking a red eye, you need to be up Saturday night. So you want to take a good long nap and a long Shabbos afternoon. You can sleep for 4 hours, and you take a good nap. Yeah, you have somebody that does it. Sleep 4 hours, and then you'll be able to be up. So halacha says you could do it. Why? Because sleeping itself on Shabbos is enjoyable. It says in halacha you should sleep a little bit on it because it's it's enjoyable to sleep. It's resting. But so you're allowed to sleep, even though your intent is to stay up Saturday night, but you're doing it on Shabbos for Shabbos. But you're not allowed to say, I'm going to sleep in order to be up Saturday night. That you're not allowed to say. Because then you're showing that you're not doing it to rest on Shabbos, you're doing it because you want to be up Saturday night. So that's then that you're not allowed to do. Or things like that. But certain times, you're allowed to do things on Shabbos. I'll give you a simple example. You finished eating on Shabbos. Okay? You have to put the food away. Now you don't want the food to spoil. So you have to put it somewhere, right? So you can put it into the refrigerator. Or you can put it in the freezer. Now, when I'm putting away the food, somebody can ask a question. If I put away the food in the freezer, that means I'm putting it away for next Shabbos, or I'm putting it away for Monday or Tuesday, because otherwise, why would I freeze it? I would put it in the refrigerator, right? So the question is, when they finish cleaning off the table, let's say you took out some ice cream and you finished half the bucket, and now you want to put the half a bucket back. So you're putting it back in the freezer, but you're not planning to eat more ice cream on Shabbos. So the question is, can I put it into the freezer? Okay, so the answer is for sure you could. Why? I'm not doing it to prepare. I don't want the food to spoil. I have to put it somewhere. I don't have to put it in the refrigerator. I can put it in the freezer. Okay? But I can do something on Shabbos to put stuff in the freezer explicitly for after Shabbos. For instance, I don't know if people know what it is today. Kids for sure don't know. When we grew up, we didn't have all these ice making machines in the fridge. We had those ice cube trays, right? Plastic ice cube trays. You fill them up with water. Remember that? You're the old guys here, yeah. Yeah, me and you are the old guys. You put the water in there, and then you put it in the freezer, and you have ice cubes, right? So now, let's say Friday, by the way, some people, you're not allowed to do it on Shabbos because you're changing the form of water to ice. But we hold that you could do it. In Shchunar, a lot of people say you can't do it. We hold that you could do it. But if I want to make, let's say Friday night, I used all the ice in the ice bucket, in the ice tray. So now I want to make more ice for Shabbos morning, for lunch, right? So then I'm allowed to do it because I'm preparing from Shabbos for Shabbos. It's not extra work for no reason. But let's say Shabbos afternoon, I finished the ice, and now I just want to refill the ice tray for whenever. Not for Shabbos afternoon, for whenever. So then I wouldn't be allowed to make ice. Why? Because I'm not making ice for Shabbos. I'm making ice either for whenever, not for Shabbos. What?
The ice, does it matter that it's just water? Or are you talking more about certain foods you can only prepare right before?
No, that's not a problem. As long as it's just
Any liquid you can put in.
any liquid you can freeze. If somebody wants to take, now, we grew up a different world than today. We used to make things ourselves. You wanted to make an icy, so they used to have these shapes. Like an icy, you fill it up with grape juice, let's say, and then you froze it and you had a grape icy, right? Or whatever, orange juice, whatever. So again, that you're allowed to do on Shabbos for Shabbos, but to do it Shabbos afternoon, for that Monday morning or Monday night I should have an icy, that I wouldn't be allowed to do. So for instance, I'm allowed to take stuff when I finish eating, I have to put it away. So where am I going to put? What's the difference? I put it here, there, or in the freezer. And I'm doing it not as a preparation for the week. I don't want the food to spoil. So that's not preparation for Shabbos. But what happens if I see something in the refrigerator, I didn't use it. I'm not putting it away. And I say, I really should put this into the freezer. I didn't use the food on Shabbos that I'm putting it away. So I can put it away wherever I want. I'm just going to take the food from the refrigerator, rearrange things. I'm going to take food that's in the fridge and put it into the freezer. That I wouldn't be allowed to do because that's not the shot I put it away. Here you're preparing explicitly food that you're not using on Shabbos, you're putting it away in the freezer, so you're not allowed to do that. So for instance, another practical din of this is washing dishes on Shabbos. So we already learned in the laws of squeezing, you can't use a sponge, you can't use hot water. We learned those dinim and the other halachos that we were learning. But then now I'm allowed to wash dishes on Shabbos for after Shabbos. So for instance, that happens if Friday night I finished eating and I have a bunch of dirty dishes and I'm going to have lunch in my house, so I'm going to need I need dishes to wash, okay? So I'm not washing them for after Shabbos, I'm washing them for Shabbos, so I would be allowed to. There are people that say, if you want to be, super religious, let's say I have 10 plates, okay? And we only used 5. And Shabbos lunch, I'm also going to use 5. So halachically, even though I have 5 clean ones, so why do I have to wash these? I can use the clean ones. And why am I working extra on Shabbos for no reason? I have 5 clean dishes that I could use. So halachically, it's not an issue. The dishes that you use, you're allowed to wash for Shabbos day, it's not a problem. Some people say, if you want to be super careful, and you have 5 clean dishes, why are you going to wash these dishes for? Why are you working on Shabbos when you don't have to use the other, but halachically you don't have to do that. But what?
So what happens after lunch? Let's say?
Okay, so now we're coming to that.
After lunch, what happens with the dishes? You don't want it to be, let's say, you don't want
Can
it to be
we
dirty.
get there now?
Oh, I don't know
Where-
if you want to.
So that is Friday night for Shabbos day. Now you finished eating Shabbos day. So if you're going to have a shalosh shudas in your house and you're going to need to use the dishes, so then again, you can wash the dishes Shabbos afternoon for Shabbos afternoon, Shabbos earlier afternoon, later afternoon. But what happens if I'm going to shul, I'm going to eat shalosh shudas in shul, or I'm not eating something else, whatever. So then, halachically, you can't wash dishes Shabbos afternoon for after Shabbos.
Can you rinse the dishes? Not wash.
Can I say something?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So then, you can't wash the dishes for after Shabbos, or even for next week. You can't do something on Shabbos for next Shabbos also, even though it's both Shabbos. You can only do something for that particular Shabbos, not for the next Shabbos. Just like Yom Tov, you can't do things on the first day for the second day. Because each day is separate. You can't do extra stuff that you don't need. So then, you wouldn't be allowed to wash the dishes. The exception of that, by the way, is glasses that you drink from, because people always drink. So then, even if you need maybe 1 or 2, you can wash 10, because who says which one I'm going to use? So let's say, I'll give you another example. Let's say Friday night you had a lot of guests. So you'd use 10 sets of dishes. Shabbos afternoon, it's only 3 of you. So halachically, I can wash all 10 dishes Friday night or for Shabbos morning. Why? Because technically I can use any of them. I can use any of them. So therefore halacha says I could wash really all of them because I'm using, but to wash all of them, if I'm not using any of them, then you wouldn't be allowed to. So now the question is, as this fine gentleman asked, can I rinse the dishes? So it depends why you're rinsing the dishes. A lot depends on your intent. In other words, if I'm washing the dishes because the dishes smell, depends how good the food is or how bad the food is. But if the dishes are going to smell and it's going to create a foul smell in the room, and then, or flies or bugs or ants and uncles are going to come, and now's the ant season, so you have a lot of ants. So again, if your intention is that to rinse it, I'm rinsing it now, that it should be easier to wash Saturday night, then I can't, because I'm rinsing it now for Saturday night to make it easier to wash. But if I'm washing it, for the foul odor, or because I don't want to attract bugs, then I'm allowed to wash. Obviously, no hot water. All the din, yeah.
Just taking it back to what you were saying, that you could wash 10 sets of dishes and you can have food.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't the same thing apply to making more food in preparation? A big bowl of eggs Saturday night, I'm using a small bowl that night, I'm using the rest.
Because the difference is, here I could use any dish. Over there, this food is all the same food. You can't use... In other words, there's an expression in halacha that you could do certain things, like make a little extra, meaning you can't cheat. You can have one person, I'm going to make 50 portions. Who are you fooling? You're not making it... Well, some people can eat 50 portions, by the way, especially if it's for free. Jews. So instead, and the same thing, I'll give you another example. Can I stack the dishes in the dishwasher? I have dirty dishes Shabbos afternoon. I'm not going to wash them. Can I put them into the dishwasher? So I saw one opinion says, interesting, everybody disagrees with that. One guy says you can even stack them in the dishwasher, which I don't understand why. So halachically, let's say again, if you're stacking them in the dishwasher to take that it shouldn't clog up the kitchen, it's not, you can have a dirty kitchen, it's not in the spirit of Shabbos, or you're going to get bugs or whatever. Technically, you can take a pile of dishes, open up the dishwasher, make sure no light goes on, whatever, no signs or lights or things go on and off, that everything is all these, whatever, huh? Whatever. So then, for sure, you can take the stack of dishes, put it into the dishwasher. Now, if you're stacking the dishwasher, this is the problem with stacking the dishwasher. If you're stacking the dishwasher that every plate is going where it goes, basically, why are you doing that now? Because you're going to make it easier that Saturday night you just press the button. You're going to just press the button. Like this, you're going to have to rearrange it Saturday night. So some people, the guy that says you could probably holds, you can't just stack the dishes. So they have to be put somewhere. Sometimes the dishwasher, you can't just take a stack of dishes and just put it in there. It's not going to work. So then again, the point over here is very simple. It's not Kabbalah. If your intention is to make it easier for Saturday night, then you're not allowed to. If you're doing it because you don't want bugs, you don't want to smell, you don't want a cluttered kitchen, then you would be allowed to. Yes, sir?
Some allow it to be just putting a pot full of water.
Oh, 1 second. Well, I didn't come to there yet. Everybody holds, though. What happens if I have a tub and I have, let's say, put some liquid soap into the tub and put water, and you can't use hot water, but cold water into the tub, then I for sure can put the dishes in there. What's the difference of putting here or there? I'm not just putting into a place that has the soapy dishes. So again, because then I'm doing it to put it away. I'm not doing it to make it easier to wash Saturday night.
Now, what about just washing under the water without just buying soap
It doesn't matter. You're still washing it for after Shabbos. Okay. Yeah.
To stack them in the dishwasher, what if someone truly psychologically has OCD, bothers them if it's messy? They really want to stack them properly.
Yeah, but if you put him in the dishwasher, close the dishwasher door, then you don't see him.
It bothers them if it's not in order, they won't put it in.
You're organized.
Maybe the person will.
You're organized.
I tell you something. Every rabbi will tell you this. Rabbis never knew until they became rabbis how far OCD goes. I mean, because every other person that calls has OCD about this and that and this and that. I'll give you another example, just coming up Tisha B'Av. It's a very interesting question. You know, they have these pills now, caffeine pills, that are, they give out, you know, what are they called? What is the words for them? Time release tablets. So it's a whole question, can you take them on Shabbos? But let's say this year Tisha B'Av is Sunday. So now people are asking, can I take that caffeine pill Shabbos late afternoon? Saturday night you can, because it's Tisha B'Av already. But can I take it on Shabbos that I will be able to have this caffeine release over the... So what's the question? The question number one, is it a medicine that I can take on Shabbos? That, they say it's not a problem. But the question is that preparing from Shabbos or after Shabbos? So all the poskim, it's an interesting question. Why isn't that preparing? I'm taking this pill now for a Sunday that I should be able to have an easier fast. But the they all write that that's not called preparing. Preparing is when you do something. Swallowing a pill is not prepare. I'm not preparing. I'm taking it now. I'm taking it now. How it's going to work? It's like somebody taking a Tylenol late in Shabbos afternoon. Yeah, I'm taking Tylenol that my headache should go away. So I'm taking it it's going to take effect a few hours later, or half an hour, whatever. So that you're allowed to do.